Is Bitcoin breaking out soon? Well, according to this guy, that might be happening. We're going to find out. Okay, so the title of this video that I'm going to be reacting to today is from Crypto World. It's entitled Bitcoin Breaking Out Soon, Prepare Now. All right, now I've been doing technical analysis for 17 years. I actually wrote a book on it. So this should be interesting. Let's get into it.
But in this video, I will not be repeating myself. So if you want to know more about this chart right here, check out my last video here on the channel, because in that video, I went into much more detail about this chart right here. And
what that pattern is, just so y'all know, is this pattern on the weekly, it's called an evening star. Okay, it's an evening star. It's when price goes up to a resistance. It's a 3-candle pattern. It's a big green candle followed by it doesn't matter if it's red or if it's green, but it's a small thin body spinning top and the next candle. So that is an evening star potential bearish pattern. Doesn't mean it is going to go down, but it is potential, just so y'all know.
Why Bitcoin is repeating history. And the same can be said about this chart right here, because once again, I covered this chart in more detail in my last video here on the channel. So watch that video if you want to know more.
All right, so he's not telling you, I'm going to tell you. So right here, these are bull flag patterns, okay? Bull flag. They are bullish. I love it. It's actually when it goes up like this, you see this is called the flag pole, and then the flag where it's pulling back. And you can see here, pull back, boom. So a bull flag, it is a bullish pattern. It is my favorite pattern. Doesn't mean that it's going to follow through, but that's all that pattern is. So what he's saying is, if it repeats itself, and this flag bounces, you can take this flag pole right there and duplicate it. So whatever that distance is, duplicate it, and that's your price target. So he's got the percentage. So this is a beautiful pattern. It's a bull flag. Doesn't mean it will bounce, but it could.
More about this chart, but basically right now we're just seeing the standard pullback that we usually see during this bull market that's close to 20%. And if we're taking a look at the daily Bitcoin chart, looking at the DXY, also known as the US dollar index, and right now, bullish, that is often bearish for Bitcoin and crypto. Not 100% of the time, but most of the time when the DXY is bullish. Once again, that's...
Yeah, and so it's an inverse correlation. He's right, usually. Correlations, they repeat themselves until they don't, right? The dollar is strong, Bitcoin's down. Usually gold's down as well, and vice versa.
Usually bearish for Bitcoin and crypto. And so just keep that in mind right now. Once again, it's still spiking to the upside, so it's technically still a short-term warning signal for Bitcoin. But with that being said, looking at the 8-hour time frame, of course, we're still playing out this bearish divergence on the 8-hour chart. But of course, just a few days ago, we saw that.
All right, so this is the bearish divergence he's talking about. I think this indicator is the RSI. He doesn't show it, but you can see how these highs are getting lower, just like that happened here. Price highs are getting higher. Okay, so they're diverging. Now, you can see here we did pull back. So that's already played out, kind of like this. So that bearish divergence could be over, and now Bitcoin could be free to run.
8-hour RSI get very close to oversold territories, telling us we had limited room to the downside, at least in the short term. But technically speaking, this bearish divergence has not yet been invalidated. So technically it is still active on the chart. And in order to invalidate this bearish divergence, we need to see some higher lows and higher highs actually confirm, ideally in the...
So what you want to see is, you see this low, you see that low, that is a higher low. You see that high. He's talking about you want price to break to a higher high and then pull back to a higher low. That'll shift that short-term downtrend, and Bitcoin should be off to the races.
The RSI actually breaks out back above this line of resistance right here. Because essentially, if we see a breakout to the upside, more of a reversal.
All this stuff is just hypothetical, guys. Technical analysis is just projections based on past patterns. It doesn't mean it will happen. So let's just always keep that in mind, right? I've been doing technical analysis for 17 years. I wrote a book on it, and I just want to make sure my job is very simple. Keep you guys up to date with what's going on, show you what's really happening, and give you both sides of the coin. Because a lot of people out there, they don't do that.
That is a sign that this bearish divergence is no longer playing out. As of recording this video, the price of Bitcoin is actually running into a bit of short-term resistance, which was previous support, and this is sitting in between around 65,000 to 66,000. But if we see a confirmed breakout back above 66,000, then our next resistance is sitting at around 68,000, and basically
So in this case, he drew those boxes, right? He drew those boxes based on, for example, you had that low, that low, that low. That's touching 3 times. That's why, that was a support level. But to me, it looks like we broke that support level. We could be heading up into this zone. Now, he drew this box because you got a lot of congestion in this area. It's a supply zone, right? Where we would expect aggressive selling. Doesn't mean it is, but that's where it's at. You could even draw your line like that, breaking up through. So again, these are all just projections based on the past.
Back above $70,000, then it's extremely likely that we'll quickly see the all-time high once again. And while the price is chopping around here in the short term, we're actually forming a new pattern right now on.
All right, so it's not a new pattern. This is an inverted head and shoulders. I haven't watched this video yet, but you can see the shoulder, you got the head, you got the shoulder. That's why he says the right shoulder head is an inverted head and shoulder. It is actually a bullish price pattern. So it comes at the bottom of a downtrend. Now, if it breaks, this is going to be the neckline. If it breaks the neckline, what you're going to do is you're going to actually take the distance between this head and this resistance, and you would measure that up. So you just double it, and that would be the price target based on the pattern. It is a reversal pattern potential, but it's still got a ways to go.
The 2-hour Bitcoin chart, which is indeed an inverse head and shoulders pattern. And an inverse head and shoulders pattern is the opposite of a regular head and shoulders pattern, and a regular head and shoulders pattern is bearish, and an inverse head and shoulders pattern is technically bullish, but only if we confirm a breakout.
Exactly. He said it right. We have to confirm the breakout over that neckline. If it doesn't break out, then this pattern never developed. All right, I think this would be a great time in the video right now. If you're finding value, hey, give this video a thumbs up and let me know down below in the comments, what do you think about technical analysts and these videos where they're telling you about different price projections? I would love to know your thoughts.
As of right now, this pattern is not yet confirmed, because in order to confirm this pattern right here, we need to see a confirmed breakout above the neckline, which is sitting at around $67,000 and should be acting as resistance. And so once again, it is important to understand that while the price is still below 67,000, technically this pattern is not yet confirmed, so it is not yet in play, and we do not yet have any active bullish price target while the price is still sitting below 67,000. But if we see a confirmed breakout back above 67,000 with candle closes and ideally flipping that into new support again, and ideally if we can actually break out above this area of resistance as well to be more confident in that bullish scenario, then that would set up a short-term bullish price target for this inverse head and shoulders pattern, which if we're
there you go. Didn't watch his video, but he's nailing it. That's how you do it. Again, I've been doing technical analysis for 17 years. I wrote a book on it that sold over 50,000 copies on Amazon. He's spot on. You're going to measure that distance. So this guy, he's giving it to you correct.
Measuring out that move, that would set up a price target at nearly $74,000, basically the all-time high. And so once again, that just further reiterates that if we see a breakout above this resistance at 67,000 and ideally above $70,000, then it is extremely likely that the price will just quickly...
Probability favors the upside. Yeah.
A technical price target. And so what this means for my trading strategy is if we see a confirmed breakout back above this resistance, then I'll be looking to enter a long position to trade that move to the upside.
Don't try to trade unless y'all have a clue what's going on, okay? Just because it breaks out doesn't mean you just go crazy and start buying, right? There's finesse to it. So don't get y'all's asses in trouble.
Enter that trade because right now we have not yet confirmed any breakout. And if we're taking a quick look at the price of Solana valued in Bitcoin, this is Sol BTC on the...
So Solana valued in Bitcoin, you guys know what that is, right? This is, you're basically taking this pair, SOL, and you're trading it against Bitcoin. So if you don't have a lot of money, let's say, or you don't want to buy Solana outright, or you don't want to buy Bitcoin, how can you double your crypto without putting any more money? This is how you do it. You trade the pair strength versus each other. So if I have a bunch of Solana, I can trade Solana against Bitcoin as a way to accumulate more Solana for free. So this is Solana against Bitcoin. You're going to see this is a descending triangle, which means the resistance areas are sloping down, the support level's flat. So if I have Solana and this breaks to the upside, that means Solana is gaining strength against Bitcoin. So if I have a bunch of Bitcoin and I want to accumulate more Solana, then if this breaks to the upside, I can sell my Bitcoin for Solana at that time, because Bitcoin was expensive. I can buy more Solana, and I would be looking for price to come all the way back up here to this resistance level. And then if it comes up to this resistance level and starts to chop around, then I could sell my Solana back for more Bitcoin, and vice versa. And this is just a solid way to accumulate more Solana and Bitcoin for free. But that's a descending triangle, but it very well could break this way. That means Solana will be losing strength. So I just want to wait for evidence of this pattern. If it breaks down, you could drop into this area. If it breaks up, I would want it to go back up to there.
Right now, after forming that potential head and shoulders pattern, we're actually seeing a descending triangle pattern, which is still more of a bearish
There you
pattern,
go.
especially if it breaks to the downside, and would still give us the same price target as a head and shoulders.
It's a bearish pattern, but it can break either way. If it breaks down, the way I would trade this is I would take this measuring distance. There's multiple ways you can measure from here, but I would take this area here and measure it down. Again, what does that mean? All that means is Solana against Bitcoin. Solana will be losing strength against Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's gaining steam. So then when Bitcoin forms a bottom and bounces, you can sell your Bitcoin for Solana. And if it runs all the way back up, it's a chance, again, to make more Solana basically for free.
This pattern if we break this line of support. And this line of support, by the way, is still sitting at around 0.0268 Bitcoin per Solana, because once again, this is Solana valued in Bitcoin. And so in case you're new to this channel, what this actually means is if this chart is bearish, that means Solana is doing worse than Bitcoin. But if this chart
is bullish, that's all it means.
Doing better than Bitcoin.
And what's the only thing that matters? The only thing that matters is you can gain more Solana without having to put any more money. So there's a lot of people, like I said, they'll trade those pairs as a way to accumulate more coins for free if you know what you're doing.
Potential price target for this pattern right here, if we see a break to the downside, we could potentially see around a 12% move to the downside.
So Bitcoin will be strong against Solana.
On the other hand, if we break out above resistance, ideally breaking out above this previous high right here in the short term, then that would set up a bullish price target. Also
exactly where we said.
14% move to the upside.
All right, so that's enough of that. So here's my take on this video. Breaking out soon. That's an inverted head and shoulder like we talked about. Doesn't mean that a breakout is going to happen, but if price breaks through that neckline, then we would expect Bitcoin to run up the length of that measuring distance. That's an if, right? Taking a look at it on the weekly, you know, the way I just did, I'm doing right now a Bitcoin XRP challenge. So we're looking at Bitcoin a lot. Bitcoin's at the resistance on the weekly, could be forming a potential cup and handle, which I talked about. But again, these are just big terminologies that people use to make themselves feel smart, to where you're like, wow, cup and handle, inverse head and shoulder. I got to go buy their course. No, you don't. All right. Taking a look at Ethereum. Again, it's the same technical pattern, right? So this video, I mean, the guy did a good job. I mean, as I was doing my analysis and we were waiting to see what he said, pretty much spot on. Just understand these are probabilities. They're projections based on the past. They don't mean anything. So when you guys are watching a bunch of technical analyst videos, make sure they're giving you the either way. But all that matters is where are good levels for you to accumulate more of your coin or sell more of your coin against another coin. As far as the breakout soon, well, only time will tell. Now, if you're interested in learning how to trade or making money from this stuff, hey, check down below in the description. I got a lot of videos, a lot of playlists. Plus, I day trade live on this channel every single day. Hey, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button on your way out. Hit that little bell to get notified when I shoot a brand new video. And if you like this video, if you found value, make sure you watch this one right here. I'm doing an XRP Bitcoin 30-day challenge to see who will make the most money. Click right here.